What's poppin', folks? Um, in this installment of my videos, I want to bring you guys something not too many people are bringing. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and say to Big Cha-Ching Blue 1, I accept your apology. It takes a real man to get up in front of everybody and post a video publicly apologizing and admitting you were wrong. I accept your apology. And now let's just move on. Now, today I've got Wrestling 123 IST. Wrestling 123ist. He is a backyard wrestler by the name of Mike Knox. Yes, I know it was a WWE wrestler, but you guys can just have a fucking imagination and get over it. So go ahead and introduce yourself, man, even though I've already done it.
Alright then, first of all, it's an honor to be on your channel.
Thank you.
I love your videos. And the whole thing about the Mike Knox at WWE, yeah, I came up with that name actually about 9 years ago, before he stepped foot in the WWE, the actual Mike Knox wrestler, which is a coincidence, a big one.
Yeah.
So when he came into the WWE, I was like, fuck, now I'm fucked. Everyone's going to think that I stole the fucking name, which I didn't. And I have videos to prove it from back like in 2003. I was calling myself Mike Knox. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay. So you are a backyard wrestler.
Yep.
Alright, to all my subscribers, this is basically going to be kind of a life of a backyard wrestler type interview right here. In my opinion, I feel that everybody gets the wrong ideas about backyard wrestling. There are backyard wrestling promotions that actually do things the right way to try to make sure people don't get hurt, and a lot of people still shit on it. So,
Yeah, that's true.
here we go. The first question I want to ask you is, man, what made you get into being a backyard wrestler?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I looked up the wrestling and I loved it, like most people. And, one day I just decided at the age of 10 years old that, I just wanted to get into it, and I started to first just fuck around with my friends. And then from there I started to actually get serious about it and train. And by the age of 12, I was out there wrestling.
That's awesome, man. Now, to go ahead and clarify, what are the precautions that you take during your matches to make sure that nobody gets seriously injured, that people actually don't get nails driven through their back and all that good stuff? Like, what are the precautions that you guys take?
Well, basically we have training sections before every show. I teach a lot of the young guys the right way to do it, because a lot of them don't know the right way to do it. And it's a shame that so many young, good pieces of talent today don't know how to do things properly, I got trained traditionally, and like I said, most of the things that I do are, I do a lot of precautions to make sure that nobody gets hurt. We practice beforehand. We practice the moves. We go through, we have meetings, we discuss things like crazy to make sure nobody does end up injured.
That's awesome. Another thing I wanted to ask you is, there was talk not too long ago about people who are in the indies, and I look at backyard wrestling promotions as indies, basically almost shitting on the indie industry, basically putting it out that if you're going to put all this money into it and you're not making all the money back, then you need to give up your dream and go fucking flip burgers at McDonald's. What are your thoughts on that, and what has your experience been like?
Well, I can say that, it's kind of love-hate. The love-hate situation. Part of that's right, part of that's not right. You see, when I started out to go, like I used to work at an indie event, doing a little bit of, setting up the ring, starting off slowly with that, and working with some of the guys, and then I did backyard wrestling in actual rings all around Ontario. And the thing is that it depends on where you're wrestling and who you're wrestling for, the pay thing and all that stuff. Like, say if you're a show opener, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might get paid at least $40, depending on whether you do a good match or not. If you don't do a good match, you won't even get paid $40. You won't get paid shit. the reality of the backyard wrestling industry is it's a cruel bitch, basically. Not to mention the fact that if you are in a main event and you do a good job and you take a lot of bumps like you're supposed to for the crowd, and the crowd loves it, you can get paid anywhere from $100 to $200, maybe even to $300 in a main event. But for a curtain opener, for a show opener, you can get paid at least maybe $40 if you're lucky. Sometimes I've had to wrestle, because I've been doing this for 9 years all over Ontario, busting my ass, and sometimes I'd go to a show and say the commission wasn't, not enough fans bought DVDs or not enough fans bought merchandise. Well, I didn't get paid then. I went out there and busted my ass, and then after the match, I was promised pay before the show, but since, the merchandise didn't sell out and we didn't have enough revenue, after the match, I wouldn't get paid sometimes. I'd go out there and bust my ass and get my fucking body ripped up with light tubes and barbed wire and thumbtacks and get my friggin' skull, stapled in and all this shit, get busted open and not even have enough money, to get a ride to the hospital to get stitched up. It's a cruel reality. A lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes or what it takes.
Yeah.
They think they do, but you don't have any clue.
Me being one of those people, not really one of the people that talk down on it, but I don't know, man. The way my body is and the shit that I've put my body through my life, I wouldn't be able to make it as a wrestler. And a lot of these guys.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
But I'm only like 21 years old and my back is fucked. My knees are fucked. I mean, my neck is screwed up so bad from all the friggin' whiplash from falling. I have head problems and I'm only 21 years old. I suggest to anybody who's looking to get into backyard wrestling and to anybody who's looking to get into it seriously, not one of these fucking kids that jump on their trampolines and do highlight videos. I'm talking about serious shit. If you're looking to get into it seriously, I would advise against it because, it's great and it's fun, but there's an ultimate price that you pay at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And my body is screwed up and I'm only 21. When I'm probably 40, I'll have to fucking sit down in a friggin' wheelchair and read a bedtime story to my kids because I've ruined my body so damn bad for these friggin' fans,
Yeah.
But, I've loved every moment of it, and do I regret it? No. I did what I did, and, it is what it is,
Yeah, and what I was getting at is, even though, I won't get into a ring because I've already put my body through enough shit, I wouldn't be able to make it, and I'm man enough to admit it. But a lot of these guys, they don't even have the guts to go out there and even try it. And some of these guys, their bodies are just fine. Some of them are like me, and their bodies won't be able to handle it. But they talk so much shit about it, but yet they won't do it. And, and another thing that I want to ask you, though, is, what is probably the worst injury that you've had doing backyard wrestling?
I didn't mean to cut you off again, sorry.
You're good.
My worst injury, I'd have to say, I got two, okay? This happened in 2004, alright? So I was only about a year, 2 years in almost. And I had a barbed wire baseball bat match, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy I was working with, he shows up at the event about friggin' 10 minutes before the match is supposed to go on, right? I was there hours ahead of time, getting ready, preparing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He shows up 10 minutes before the match. I told him, hey, do you know what you're doing? Have you ever done a barbed wire bat match before? Because I really don't feel like getting cut up real bad or getting hurt, You could die from getting sliced to the neck or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Well, we go into the match, and to make a long story short, the asshole cut me in the face. That's why I don't know if you've seen any of my videos. I deleted some of them I used to have due to personal reasons with some of the guys that I'm working with now, but he cut me in the face. I lost vision in my one eye for about 3 days. I was in the hospital. I got my vision back about the third day in. I didn't really lose my vision. It was blurry. I couldn't really see out of my one eye.
Yeah.
And cut my eyebrow, cut my cheek up, grazed my eye. And that was because of somebody who was stupid, who didn't know what they were doing. basically he was supposed to cover the bat, so it, you know, kind of he would hit his fist off my forehead, but he just swung the bat completely right at my face, which is just fucking retarded. I beat the shit out of him afterwards, but it was ridiculous, and it was just ridiculous, you know. Like, you don't do that shit, you know. Not to somebody you're supposed to be working with.
Yeah.
And you know, like I was saying though, my videos, my one eye tilts to the side a lot because I have problems with my head from getting hit so much, and that's the cause of the problem that I have with my eye. My eye will tilt over to the side, and you know, I've had, you know, that was one of my injuries. My second injury would probably be one time. I've only been in 2 light tube matches, and they are extremely dangerous, and I'm scheduled to be in one this summer, so wow, I can't wait. But they are extremely dangerous. That's why I'm not really enthused. They have a lot of mercury in them, the tubes. They can cause cancer. You can die from them. I was in 2 tube matches, and in the one, my first ever tube match that I had, my light tube match that I ever had, I ended up laying a guy on a table, getting up on a ladder, driving both my knees into his gut, and I had some light tubes laid out on his chest. And there's a certain way you can do this to where you're supposed to, you know what I mean, protect the guy or whatever. But it wasn't anybody's fault. It was actually kind of my fault. When I did it, you know, I didn't figure I was going to get cut too bad, but when I went through, ended up cutting my kneecap up pretty good, and I could actually see the top of my kneecap bone. That's how deep the cut was. So, you know, that would be my second worst injury. I've had lots. I've ripped my finger open from barbed wire. I've ripped my back up from barbed wire. I've got concussions. I've had to get my head stitched up I don't know how many friggin' times. You know, I should be a friggin' vegetable right now, but I'm not, which is, you know, I'm a miracle.
Yeah.
So.
Well, everybody who's subbing right now and everybody who's viewing, schedule 15 minutes of video. I'm cutting this one short. Part 2 will be up after this one. Don't forget to check it out, and also go check out the IWWS channel and check out Wrestling 123.